Dear Divine Selves, the essence of entire Vedantic teaching is that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. The Brahman alone is truth. The visible universe is false, and the jiva, the individual self, is nothing but verily Brahman. I, you, and everyone around us is nothing but God, living God. Every moment you are nothing but God and God alone. But do you realize it? Do you experience the Godhood within yourself? The divine and immortal dimension of existence within you is neither visible nor tangible to an ordinary rational mind. That is the greatest tragedy. Despite the fact that in no moment of time and existence you are anything but God, the Brahman, you never experience it. That is the greatest curse of human beings, because human beings are equipped, programmed with the faculty whereby they can directly, immediately, personally, intuitively can experience that Godhead, the eternal Sacchidananda, the eternal existence, pure awareness and infinite bliss. That is your true nature, but you never experience it. Because you have been made to believe that the God is some external, distant, different, distinct, separate reality. Let me tell you, the entire essence of the Vedas and Vedantic teachings, if the God is not present within you, there is no God anywhere else. If you are not God, if I am not God, if the people around you are not God, and if you cannot experience the Godhood in the fellow beings and fellow humans, it's impossible to experience that Godhead anywhere else. Right at this moment you are nothing but God and God alone. If a piece of diamond or a brick of a stone is covered in the mud, does that brick of gold or the piece of diamond lose its characteristics, its diamondness, its goldness. It doesn't lose ever. Similarly, your ignorance about your true nature doesn't in reality make you lose your divine nature, but you become oblivious out of ignorance about your eternal, immortal nature. So, in very brief, I must tell you that the entire spiritual practices, especially meditation and samadhi, are aimed at making you realize, experience that divine dimension of your personality personally, immediately, directly, not by somebody else's inference, but your own experience. So, which dimension within you is the Godhead? The seer within you. You are listening me, you are seeing me, you are observing me, you are perceiving me. That energy, that power called pure awareness, that is ever present to you and me, and that is a non-dual reality, that power of pure awareness alone is the observer, perceiver, seer within you and me. And that seer within you and me is the God, Brahman, Atman, Self. There is no God other than the seer, perceiver, observer. The knower within you is the God. Right now, is there any knower within you? How are you able to listen to my words, to understand my words, to perceive me? Right now you are, if you understand the language I am speaking, you are making some sense, you are trying to understand that force or energy or power, that energy of pure awareness, that is non-dual, eternal, intrinsically blissful faculty present every moment within you, that is called Brahman, that is called Atman, that is called God. That's eternal and immortal reality. It's a fulsome reality, it's a wholesome reality. And it's an infinite, omnipotent, omniscient and almighty reality which is present right within you, right within me, every moment. But due to our ignorance, we are unable to understand or experience that divine nature of ours. Vedanta says, Drik Brahmeti Drishyamayeti Sarva Vedanta Nishyaha. The seer is the Brahman. The seen is false, illusory world. And this alone is the conclusion of entire Vedantic scriptures. So try to differentiate between the seer and the seen, and you would be face to face with Godhood within you and everywhere. Whichever power is the seeing power, the knowing power, the perceiving and observing power, that is the Brahman, that is Atman, that is Paramatman, that is Godhead. And is it present within you or not? Right now it is present within you. But you have been out of ignorance made to believe that God is sitting somewhere else in some gross, ferocious, strange form up in the sky. No. The seeing, perceiving, observing and knowing power within you, that's the formless and nameless and infinite, timeless and spaceless energy. This body is a finite entity within the time and space. It was born at a particular time, it will disappear at a particular time, and it is a finite by space also. Within this small room, this 5-6 feet long, 70-80 kg weight of this body mass we call body. This is seen, this is ephemeral because it exists in time and space, but the seer, perceiver, the knower and observer within you is beyond time, beyond space. It was never born, it will never die. This body was born and this body will die, but the observer, the seer within this body. And all the bodies in the universe, there is only one seer and perceiver. It's a one indivisible, non-dual, conscious reality that is called truth or Brahman or Paramatman or God. And every moment we are nothing but that God alone. The problem is that due to our mental identification, we have identified ourselves as predominantly mental entities, mental beings. So mind is always preoccupied with the external world, the objective world, which has some name and form, which is seen. I am trying to make you understand just one fundamental principle of Vedanta which will crack for you the entire rigmarole of Brahman within you. The body and the body parts and all the physical world which has mass, which is gross, which has name and form, are all seen, drishya, and which by nature is false. Every seen, drishya or vastu, any particular object with a name and form, was born and will dissolve in time and space. But there is a seer within that object. That seer within you and seer within me is one. My seer and your seer are not two. So as a body entity or as jiva, we are two and infinite numbers. There are more than 7 billion human beings alone. And there are trillions and trillions and trillions of species, flora, fauna, all living, non-living beings. But the seer of all these, seer within all these is one, that is called Brahman, the Atman, Paramatman. And to find out, to explore and find out and identify and be established in that Brahman, that is always within you. The God, the Atman, the Brahman, that is seer, the faculty of seeing, perceiving, observing. Right now you are observing, you are listening my words and trying to understand that power of pure consciousness is Brahman. That is one non-dual, indivisible power, immortal, eternal power, and by nature is an infinite ocean of love, bliss, and beauty. The seer within you is a fulsome and wholesome reality because it's all by itself and nothing exists beyond this seer, that is the Brahman. So, how to realize that Brahman within yourself? Right now, right here. If you are able to understand the difference between the seer and seen, the subject-object relationship, it's not so difficult. But you have to be a little intelligent and alert to understand this. Vedanta is called a non-dual philosophy because in the essence and in the conclusion, when you realize the truth, you come to know that there is no duality, the duality of subject-object, the perceiver and perceived, the observer and observed, the seer and the seen. It's all illusory. The reality is one, and that is of the nature of seer. The power of seeing, the power of knowing, the power of observing, the power of perceiving. I'm using different words, it's the same thing. Prajnanam Brahma, the power whereby you know something, that is Brahman. And are you devoid of that power? Is even the ants, squirrels, mouse, cat, elephant, cat, dog, buffalo, they are not free from that power. How do they? The life force within you and all the living beings, that is life force, is the power that knows, the knowing, the seeing, the perceiving power. And that is living Brahman. The life force within you is not this breath. What you call as death is the disappearance of that life force called consciousness, pure awareness. No breath can exist without awareness. The breath exists within awareness and not outside awareness. This body of yours and the body of mine and all the bodies exist within the consciousness, within the Atman. The Atman is not in this body. This body is within Atman. The Atman is within and without. The Atman is not within in the body in the sense that that Atman is an universal, eternal, omnipresent reality, while this body is a finite reality. Therefore, to put it simply, you have identified yourself with seeing the objects and objective world, thereby you have become bound, you have become mortal. You are suffering. Reverse this identification. Your true reality is that of seer, drashta. You are drashta in reality, and that drashta is Brahman and God and Atman. So, drashta within you, the seer within you, which is ever-present reality, you must identify yourself with that drashta, the seer, For that, first you have to disidentify yourself with the objective world, the scene, drishyam. You have to break free from that identification and then re-identify yourself with the seer within yourself. That is the whole and sole purpose of meditation and samadhi. In the beginning, I went into samadhi, first meditation and then savikalpa samadhi, whereby I dissolved myself and broke free from my identification with the scene, with drishya, the scene. And first I broke free from the scene and then I began to identify myself with the seer within me. The light of consciousness ever present within me is the seer, and that is a non-dual, eternal, immortal reality within me. That identification alone is the purpose of all samadhi. So first you dissolve your mind and mental modifications through meditation, and then once you dissolve the entire attachment or identification with the objective or the drishya, which is false, then you take a U-turn and come back to the core of your existence, the seer, the perceiver, and there is no form, there is no name, that nameless, formless, the light of pure consciousness within you, which is ever present as a perceiving, knowing, seeing, observing power, that is the Brahman, Atman, Paramatman. You identify with that, and that identification and establishment in that light of consciousness is called samadhi, and that is called moksha and liberation. Once you are able to completely break free from the drishyam, the scene, and fully identify yourself with the seer, drashta, the Brahman, that is the state of samadhi, the highest state. All the sorrows and sufferings and bondages are shattered, because the primordial ego leading to ignorance is destroyed by that identification. So, if you want to realize your true nature, if you want to become immortal by realizing your immortal dimension, that is the seer within yourself, you have to begin practicing dhyana and samadhi. Meditation and samadhi, that is why I have been trying to do practically, speaking less and trying to demonstrate. Once you understand this fundamental, there is nothing as simple. The way I have presented it is the heart and soul of all Vedantic literature, that you disidentify with the drishya, the scene, and re-identify yourself, your nature, your reality with the seer, the formless, nameless seer, drashta within you, which is Brahman, God, the Atman. Thereby, you will be able to experience intuitively, directly, immediately, that you are the God, you are the Brahman, you are the Atman, you are the whole of the whole. You are all in all. There is nothing beyond you. You are present as the seer and perceiver in every single object, in every single atom, in millions and billions of cosmoses. And you are beyond time and space. The time and space exist within you and not vice versa. You are beyond time and space. Time and space are mental constructs. Mind alone creates by imagination the construct of time and space. You are beyond time and space. You are never born, you will never die. You are an absolute, independent, almighty reality as the seer. Moment you identify the seer within yourself, the perceiver within yourself, you would realize, not by my words or reading the books, by your intuitive experience, that there is no death to you, the real perceiver and seer within you. There is no sorrow and suffering, there is no mutation. You are an eternal reality and a wholesome reality. And by nature, you are always blissful, full of love, full of beauty. That realization of our true nature is the most sacred responsibility of each one of us. By realizing our true nature, we not only do greatest service or realize the greatest achievement for ourselves, but we manage to make the greatest contribution to human beings and the society at large also. So self-realization, the realization of the Godhood and Brahmanhood within you is your most sacred responsibility, because without realizing your true nature, you are never ever going to be free from sorrow and suffering, and you are never ever going to be in possession of what you are hungry for, thirsty for, running after. The eternal love, bliss and beauty and happiness you are running after will become possible only and only when you realize your true nature. When you are running after the external objective world for enjoying some love, some happiness, some pleasure, they are all shadows you are running after. But once you realize your true nature, you will be drowned in the nectarine bliss of your own eternal existence. So there is nothing higher and nothing superior than the realization of our true nature. It's the most sacred responsibility. That is why there are in this history, there are people, the richest people, the emperors, the greatest of the intellectuals, renouncing all this entire worldly wealth and belongings and name and fame, and go out in search of the truth about our own nature. So, to conclude, if you want to realize the Godhead, the Brahmanhead, the Atman within yourself, try to look within and try to see the seer within you, identify with the seer within you, and that would require practice of meditation and samadhi. If you are really interested, if you are sincere, you need to go and listen to at least some of the discourses I have given and posted on my YouTube channel. You must subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there must be at least 8-10 of my discourses exclusively directly on self-realization through meditation, through samadhi, in simple language. But if you are sincere enough, you must listen to those discourses and then try to practice meditation and samadhi. Or if you have any kind of queries, you can ask me. I'll be more than happy to reply to your questions or any kind of clarifications should you need. Thank you very much for listening to. Chidananda-rupah Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda-rupah Shivoham Shivoham सच्चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् ॐ